And then something else that you said, I'm sorry, about beating up the child of a governor or the child of a senator and all that. I would have thought that this thing had a lot to do with our culture, where women are told to be subservient to their husbands and do what your husband says. So it doesn't matter if the woman is daughter of whoever. As long as I'm your husband, you have to submit yourself to me. And I am the boss of this house. I can marry 10 of you and do with 10 of you as I please because I am the boss around here.
Yeah, that is going
Doesn't that have to do with it?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But you shouldn't die in poverty, you shouldn't die in pain, you shouldn't die. That is stupidity, for crying out loud. How will the man be beating you L and blue or beating you, mercilessly and you just keep quiet, you keep note about that? No, that is wrong. I don't believe that is part of submissiveness. That is rubbish. That's stupidity. Okay. To me, that is stupidity.
All right. Let's ask Haja Fawemi. Now, in terms of this, our culture, which is backed by what has been mentioned by the two previous speakers, is backed by our religion and so on. This culture of a woman being submissive, can a woman be deemed a woman of virtue when you say that she has to submit, and because she has to submit, it then implies that she has to accept beating and abuse? How does that add up for you?
Thank you. I have always thought, and I'm a strict, I won't say strict, I'm a great advocate of whichever way you can help the woman with her self-esteem. So regardless of the culture, is Nigerian culture the same with India? Is it the same with Pakistan? Is it the same with, we have, these are very different cultures, and yet you have women being bastardized from time to time. So I would just say that it's not necessarily the culture saying you have to be submissive to your husband that should really be reason for being treated the way women are. I think violence against women is as old as the earth. You know what I'm saying? It's as old as the creation of man. And honestly, if you ask me, I cannot tell you what the reasons are, but I just know it's a worrisome phenomenon. It's something we all have to find a way to help out. It is violence, yes, but you can always use a non-violent means to cure it. And I take that back a little bit. We cannot cure it. It's going to be on, but maybe we can stem it gradually until it possibly, if God wills, it can fade away. You know what am I making sense to you?
Okay, but let me take you back a little bit.
Okay.
Christianity will tell you that a woman of virtue will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think there is something in Islam along that line as well to do with submission to your husband, who is the head of the home. Does that submission to your husband, does it include keeping quiet when a woman is abused?
No, sir. As a matter of fact, when you're keeping quiet, whatever the amount, it can tantamount to destruction to the home, and which means it will now negate whatever Christianity or Islam is teaching you to do as a woman. I would say keeping quiet is not the parameter to measure how virtuous you are as a woman.
Okay.
It's not. When you are outspoken, I am not saying be combative, but when you are able to, and that can come in when your self-esteem is at play. Titilayo, like my friend mentioned earlier, a case, I told people when I had seminar with other women, I told them, I said, purely her case was based on low self-esteem and so many others. If she had identified the husband was already alcoholic as a result of unemployment, blah, 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 if she's been able to identify it and with high esteem, self-esteem, being able to say, hey, you know what, this is this, you have to do this, you have to do that, she's been able to talk. And of course, after the first slap to any woman, the second one, you are consenting to it. It is coming because you have consented to it. Am I making sense to you?
Of course.
So, and I know this you can curb, this you can reduce, this you can work on. If in any way, which we're going to talk about later, if in any way your self-esteem, everybody is suffering from this. It's only that the woman suffers more. Low self-esteem. Low self-esteem would not let you be able to step up and say, hey, buddy, have you checked if you are HIV positive? If you are, we're not going to go under. We're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? That is self-esteem. If it's well.
Do
well
women
said.
go into marriages with low self-esteem,
Everybody.
or they go into it with their self-esteem, but the man destroys that self-esteem?
I'm sorry.
Is that because there are two different things there?
We're there.
More often than not, you will find that you're not really sure whether this is the way this woman was married, or when she got married, then the man abused and destroyed that esteem to the point where she doesn't have anywhere else to go.
Yeah, to answer your question, sometimes, and I would say some percentage, as far as I'm concerned, of women would go into the marriage with that measurement of self-esteem. She gets in there. If she's not able to maintain it or enhance it, the husband is going to be able to now finish it, take it to the lowest ebb, okay? But as soon as, when she's into the marriage, again, if she's able to maintain how she came into it, oftentimes not. It could be as a result of the economic situation. Titilayo's husband lost his job. Maybe what happened wouldn't have happened if that economic aspect of it is not playing. But at the same time, if, like I say, if she's able to maintain, let's take her issue now as if she came in with the right amount of self-esteem, is very crucial. It's very important. You know what I'm saying? So if she's able to maintain it in the marriage, at one point she's going to be able to say, oh, if you are not going to get up in the morning and stop being, accepting defeatism that, oh, I don't have a job, so, oh my God, so I should be a weakling, so I should be in the house, I should be drinking. If she's able to, stand up to him and say, if you're not going to do something about it, I'm gone.
Now, Dr. Odumake, there are many women, not just lowly women, as she had pointed out, who are actually in marriages where they are constantly being abused. And for reasons best known to them, they choose to stay in such marriages. What would be your advice to such women who have the financial strength to move out and go and rent their own places, but still accept the abuse on a fairly regular basis?
Well, first and foremost, before I address that, like I said, statistics have shown that out of every 10 women that we see, 7 have been abused in their lifetime. Even as worst as seeing 2 women, and throughout their lifetime, 1 will have been abused. And then from some of the mind-boggling revelations that we have is, violence has no class. Some are highly educated. In fact, some of the
highly placed.
Some of the documented cases that we have, about 65% belong to the middle class. Those who are well to them, but then 50% belongs to the low class. But the thing really is that for those who have been serially abused, and some of them either as a result of low self-esteem, some of them think because of the stigmatization they might suffer moving out, and then people continue to taunt them. They are single women, so some of them stay and die in silence. But my advice really is that if one is in any abusive relationship, such a person should realize that it's only when there's life, there's hope. Yes. And the moment the person goes 6 feet below, that will be the end. Another woman will take over. And for the men too, who have been abusing their women, we also want to advise that by the time they either kill their wives, or they inflict wounds on them, or they maim them, at the end they will be in jail, and their children will just be left alone like that for either society to cater for them. So no matter what happens, people should have, one should not overreact. I tell people, and that's what my mom has always told me, that no matter what, the mouth and the teeth have been dwelling for a very long time. And all of a sudden, the tongue and the teeth have been dwelling for a very long time. All of a sudden, the teeth will just bite the tongue. And so it's just to show that there could be disagreements, but if it gets to such an extent that such a person has that domineering spirit, such a person is